Well, it's Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Please comment, like, and subscribe for YouTube, of course. And I'd like to start off the space, what is space 37, with some thank yous. First of all, thank you to all 15 interviews. They're all on YouTube now. Just wrapped up with JD Crossover, Spontaneous J, and CP the Doc. All were a great time. In fact, all 15, in my opinion, were too short. It was a fun project that I hope. Still getting some ideas about more possible interviewees. And then one final thank you to everyone who's shown any type of support. Whether it's likes, comments, views, tweets, retweets, lurks, chatters, all of it. Anybody that's anywhere, anytime a number changes, that's a high five. And so thank you to everybody for 2K23. A big thank you to Jimmy, of course. How you doing tonight, Jimmy?
What's going on, Tim? Thanks for having me on, as always.
Oh,
just here and waffling.
Of course, waffling. Yeah, we've been a little waffle shortage. I understand it is August, and it's a typical waffle shortage in the area.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good to be back and talking with you guys. I know you got some exciting things planned, but a big thank you goes to you for coordinating these as much as you have. Thinking about it as consistently as it's gone since Thanksgiving. I mean, that was a long time ago. We're talking season 2. Drake's album just came out, so he's coming out with a new album on Friday.
No, that's also how I gauge time, is by when Drake albums were released. So that's
literally
good.
Same though.
That's good. That's good. And the first space I did from my truck, when I was looking back, yeah, it's been quite a year, and some of the people we got to talk to, Jampy, I hope he's doing great wherever he's at. The list goes on. But he was the first one that came to mind. That it's been one heck of a year, and it's not over yet. If you hop into my streams, it seems like 2K23 is still rocking and rolling, which is fine. I played 2K21 all the way through 2K22, so this is nothing new. If anybody that knows me IRL, it's par for the course, and.
Respect for doing that, man. Honestly, respect.
It took me a little bit longer to get Bol than most. That but I ended up getting him, and I was a threat. A year later on Triple Threat Online, I was trouble. I had some good cards.
First in the world, and let's go.
Yeah, yeah, last in the world for a lot of things on 2K21. But I played it into the ground, and it seems like, even with planning on playing 2K24, it seems like I've gotten a lot out of 2K23.
Same here.
A lot, and also not enough out of, which I didn't realize until recently.
Okay.
And that's kind of my intro. My W happened was losing at golf. Actually. My recent win is losing at golf, and how that turned out is, well, it's been a fun couple of weeks, and I got to go down to Utah this recent weekend to hang out with my son, and I got down there Friday night, and we're chatting, talking about 2K, of course, and I load on the game, and of course I'm reposting shoes, and he got a kick out of that. Because the last time we hung out, of course, I was reposting shoes. But hey, it's still a solid investment. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's good. And so we were talking about playing co-op, and he's like, "Well, who should we play with a third?" And so we played a little bit just online, us two, and it was fine. But you can really tell when somebody knows how to work the CPU, and they can beat you pretty handily.
Yep, I know exactly how that goes.
Yep, and he's like, hey, well, let's find a third. And I was like, well, the obvious choice, the easy choice would be just to text Ramsey and say, hey, you want to play some co-op? But then I said, well, where's the flex in that? And so what I did, we got everything all set up, and we fired up a stream. And before you know it, there's people that want to play co-op, and I got to flex for my kid, even though it's still, this is all still, it's all still blows my mind, all of it. And so whenever I can pull my kid into it and say, hey, you want to play some co-op with somebody? Okay, tonight we're playing with Fiji or Michael or Shibe or whoever, the list goes on.
Yeah, that's W Flex.
Yeah, and the community flex is what it is. Because I just as easily could have loaded up and said, yep, we're going to play co-op, and then nobody shows up. And talk about the ultimate anti-flex. It could have just as easily went that way. And I'd have been any minute now, and then I'd be checking cords and stuff, acting like it was a connection issue. Yeah, it could have been bad, but the community, once again, as always, rises up, and I got to show off in front of my kid.
No, that's awesome that they were asking you your stream, and that's a cool moment both with your community and with your son. And sometimes we got to flex, man. And that's just part of life.
Absolutely. And that's what Twitter's for, flexing. And because then Saturday morning got to play some IRL basketball. It was like a sports camp weekend, I tell you that. Nice. And so we played IRL basketball in the morning, and it was a blast. And still, it's the rim's a lot higher than I remember, and the 3 points a lot further than I remember, but it's still good basketball. I don't know if it was all regulation, but it was good. And then had a great lunch and everything. And then he sends out this tweet, because of course I'm talking Twitter or X and stuff with him. And he sends out this tweet, 1 like for a 60 overall park stream.
I saw that.
And I was like, what? Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. So we're talking about it all day. What about this? What about this? And so I have dinner and stuff, and we're talking to his fiance about it, and she thinks it's a great idea. And I'm still thinking, okay, we're going to get beat 22-4 if we're lucky enough to score 4. So, but now we're all jazzed up. We're watching Uncle Demi videos, trying to figure out which build we're going to do. And because there was one that says best builds for season 8. And we're like, okay, well, here we go. It's season 9, but it's got to still be relevant. And so he's picking a build, and I'm picking a build, and then we go to stream, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. And so I'm picking my jump shot and everything. And while I'm picking my jump shot, Shiny pulls up. And if you know the community, you know Shiny.
For sure.
Many names, but he pulls up in a pink jumpsuit and a go-kart in the park. And he hops on the spot with some random, and he plays twos with me and Selt, and it's a sweat fest. It's a war, that I'm used to playing with Invincible Mark Eaton with all the badges. And I go to this guy. He doesn't even have a nickname yet besides Trash. And so it's a war, and somehow his Shiny's teammate sells him, shoots too much, and we somehow get the win. And Celtic had like 22 rebounds or something. And it was people hopped in the stream asking, what are they watching? What are they seeing? Park in August, you're expecting legends in all these dribble moves, but not a couple of 60 overalls trying to figure out how to catch the ball. And more people were hopping in stream, and we were playing against more people. And now we're losing, because now people are sweating us pretty bad. So but it's still fun. And it ended with a rec game, not rec with randoms, rec with people in stream, and it was a double overtime thriller that my controller died, and I ended up missing the last part of the fourth quarter of. Yeah, that's just kind of unpacking too quick and not being prepared for stream. That's all on me. But it's a good thing Celt's TV was on, and Michael was playing. Fade to Michael was playing with him, so I raided his channel right away. So at least people got to watch the end of the game, and they ended up losing. And then of course I dream about Park again, because that's how I got into 2K, playing with those two, my two kids, and then playing that night. And I'm thinking, man, the draw, the allure from Park is real. I can see why it's so popular, because you spend so much time. I spent an hour on a build, and I'm thinking the next day, okay, I got to start grinding my career. And then I remember it's August and the new game comes out. And so I'm not going to do that. But, man, and you see that it's a popular game mode, and it's an addictive game mode, even more than MyTeam, in my opinion, because of the player progression, because of the badges. It's just another little wrinkle in it. And then I got beat in golf Sunday morning and I went home. And that was one of the best weekends I've had in a while. So that's where the siren of Park is calling. And I'm getting all this info, all this new stuff about 2K24. And most of it is Park centric, or at least shading to Park. So that's where I'm at. I'm still playing 2K23. Still continue. I still got a couple more weeks of that. Pretty much beat the game, but I figure I'll just you go down to play now, and that's how you start getting good at using poor cards.
Yeah, you could definitely do that for sure. No, I mean, look, I played a ton of my career over the years, especially when I got back in the 20. But I that's cool. You were a Park Sweat once upon a time. I know back in 18, that was your year, huh?
Yeah. That was the first. That was the first time I felt like I had a logo already because I was an elite early because I was a big man. And yeah, you get invites all the time as you're wandering around the park. And, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. If I had any clips of that, I should have prepped a little better for, this time. Then I got receipts. Everybody needs receipts and proof. But I think the lore is even a little better because I can just pretend like, I was an 85% winning percentage.
You have receipts, don't you? I've seen at least one screenshot of you back in the day.
That's right. That was more me flexing. My kid won the VC thing. Back in stage, back in the old stage of 1v1, there was a little slot machine screen. Do you remember that at all? No. Okay. No. This predates. Yeah. See, he's always been a sweat in part. Always online. Always dogged on me for playing offline. Yeah, and so he was 1v1 dude, and so he'd make a build and take it into 1v, and I'm like, dude, you have 3 My Career games. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I gotta play it. And so he ended up beating somebody that was real low overall, and he called me. I was at work, and he called me, and he said, hey, I won the jackpot. And I was like, what do you mean, at school? What's going on? And he's like, no, I'm sick from school, but I won the jackpot. And I said, oh, you don't sound very sick. And he says, no, it's 5-point-something million VC. And I was like, what? And then that's when he sent me the picture, and I couldn't believe it. And so that's how deep 2K runs. And you know what he'd spent it on? Swags and tattoos. Because we didn't play my team. I think he ripped some packs, but he had every piece of clothing that you could imagine. It was wild. He was the Park Sweat, and that was the big flex on there. For that screenshot.
Now that you mentioned it, I remember that back in 20. I don't know if they were similar, but I don't think I've ever played a stage game in my entire life. So there you go.
It's never too late, right? You never know. I didn't think I was going to play my career in 2K23, but I did in August with a 60 overall. So,
respect.
Hey, with crossplay, maybe you'll be out there showing off for both PlayStation and Xbox.
Hey, I mean, I played my fair share of my career this year, no doubt about it, on both consoles.
And there was one, I didn't want to jump past. Nolan mentioned something about you have an itinerary of learning to fly, and he said you'd know what that meant. But there was also a photo you tweeted yesterday that with no context, which is great. I like the photos with no context.
Yeah.
And then there was a video and a little more today about a flex, about a huge W, and it might not be very recent, but recent enough to tweet. Can you tell me a little bit more about what was going on there?
Yeah. So, I mean, I had the best 4 years of college. I'll put my college experience up against anybody's, but most importantly, it was a great time, and I had the honor of being recognized just for everything that I did at Butler. And that was actually my second time receiving that award. So it's pretty neat.
And that was called the Chapman Champion. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you got it right. Way to go.
See, I did a little bit of research, right? Maybe I didn't dig too deep into the dev blog and the sideline report and stuff, but I was on Twitter. I saw that.
Yeah.
So explain that. That's at a basketball game or something, or what?
Yep. Men's basketball game.
All right.
Uh, and you know, I took a lot of pics at Butler. It wasn't just basketball. Obviously, we're known as a basketball school, but it was everything. Women's lacrosse came on campus as a team my sophomore year. I was out there taking pics of that, so it was a cool moment. I've been looking at a lot of past stuff recently, and just getting ready for 24. Right. So.
Well, they don't give awards just for taking pics, and
well,
so you grinded a little harder than that. Congratulations on that. That's a cool thing. And then, like more 2K related awards, kind of like logos, where they've been topical lately in other spaces and other tweets and stuff, and talking about that who deserves quote unquote a logo and a lot of things is who's going above and beyond, just streaming. That was a big thing that going out to make connections, going out to do other things, which I know you play down getting an award in the middle of a college basketball game, but I've never done that. So So yeah, it's more than just taking pictures. And so the people that do, there's a bunch of logo recipients, and some people have to defend their logo, and it's weird, but everybody deserves what they got for a reason. And there was a great video, and I don't know the Twitter handle, but you probably do.
I do.
And he talks about he didn't get a logo that day, and a lot of people that he didn't know got logos. And he said, that's the point. That's the point, to open people up, to network, to introduce people to people. Yep. And then there was this, I was sitting in on a space the other day, and I should have had all this stuff ready. And they were talking about logo and about how there's no real value to a logo. And it's so many things in life, the only value to it is how you apply it. It can, what one thing is worthless to somebody is worth $1 million to somebody else in how you apply it and how you use it. And if everybody's waiting for this big blow up, to get noticed, and maybe they do get a logo, or maybe, and they start trying to jump ahead in the line, and it's hard to watch because people get so frustrated. Content creation is such a weird spectrum, because it's like it's not something that the harder you work, the more results you get. It's something you have to be above and beyond a hard worker. You got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to interact with people. You got to know how to interact with chat. It's so overwhelming. And so the people that do it consistently, that do keep doing it, it's such a shout out to them. And then the guys like that are awesome streamers that see something, that do expect a logo, and are not noticed, and then can carry on and keep their head up, and then go on to get a logo the next time, instead of screaming at Walmart because their sale's over. Instead of burning your own bridge because you're unhappy with what the outcome of the day. Yep. And people, and you see in all these spaces lately, you see such huge names and people listening, such huge people listening, and then you hear people that it's like they don't realize that what they say matters, that what they say carries weight on themselves, and you hope for the positive. There was a dry spell of 2K information that we were all attacking each other, and that happens, I think, every 2 months. But as long as everybody remembers what the focus is, and why everybody's here, and why everybody makes content, and why everybody joins a space, or why everybody wants their opinion heard, that you still have to represent yourself at the end of the day. And nobody's going to open a door for you, but nobody will close a door on you without you having something to do with it, from what I've seen.
I'm glad you brought up that video. Sosa is his name. Sosa. And back in 2K16, he was a park legend, and definitely somebody who put in the work to grind last year. And his time came the next time around. And I believe he had a logo in the past as well, prior to 22. So at the end of the day, it's just like you said it perfectly. There's not really much more I can add. There's not much more I can waffle about.
Hey,
I think you covered everything there.
did I just out waffle you? Wait a second.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it might be the only time in 23 you've done it.
First in the world.
It still counts. Yeah.
First in the world.
Clip it, Chad.
But aside from some logos and stuff, there was a lot of news about 2K24 unfolding recently. Because the last I heard, it was the same game. That true?
I mean, it's up to everybody's interpretation, right? Is that supposed to be subjective at this rate?
That's right. That's right. Because aside from being the same game, there's also a shot meter update. Are you a shot meter guy?
I've been a meter demon the whole year. I love playing limited, and then co-op too. I like to lure people into a false sense of security. They see the meter, they think, this guy is not good. But I've dabbled with the meter without. It's funny. In 20, when I was in North Dakota, this dude popped me in Unlimited, man, and he's like, "Yeah, it's because I have my shot meters off. I feel so much more comfortable shooting with my shot meter off." So who knows? I might go back to not using it. Obviously, we talked about 20%.
20%.
Mike coming out and telling us what it is, and it's a tangible number. And I know we can't see the meter this time around, but we'll see. I might go back and forth, but at least in the beginning, the meter's going to be on. Let's just keep it a band.
See, and I think I'm going the opposite way. I'm drawn into the 20%. I tried to turn it off this year.
Okay.
And then I turned it back on immediately, multiple times. So, but the 20%, right?
It's big. First of all, that new they came out with the new shot meters this year. The Comet meter has been my favorite. But I know there's some people in the audience right now listening. There's no way Jimmy's waffling about meters right now. But at the same time, it's just like I feel like people are going to start with no meter because they've seen it at 20%, and that's going to be a tough go early on, Tim, because they're going to think they can green a lot of stuff. It's going to be tough early. And, each year it has been tough or to shoot early. Remember the start of 21? My gosh, that was beyond rough.
Oh, the sticks. See, Selt could shoot for some reason. Selt could shoot. And he had the airplane green animation, and that sticks with me forever now.
Okay.
That his guy would just start running around the court. But, yeah.
I'm about to go into some real MyTeam lore. There was one of the domination evos, and I did them all, but it was Grant Williams when he had the Emerald card, and you had to 5 threes with him with a very, very low three-point rating. 58 comes to mind. I don't know if that's the exact number, but that was one of the craziest things I've ever done. And that was before I even started streaming, so I'll never forget that card. If someone wants to post a picture of that card out and tag me, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. And then crossplay. I guess crossplay is a little bit old news now. It's been out a while. But one thing that came up is it can be turned on and off. Because I know, like on Call of Duty, we turn crossplay off because of the PC. It seems like there's a lot of PC hackers, or that's our excuse for losing. Do you see a reason to turn it on or off?
I see a reason to turn it on for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be playing it from my PS5.
And I guess if connection issues happen, then you can toggle it on or off based on your area or servers.
Yep. Yep. So I'll for sure I'll play with it on, at least to start. We'll see what happens.
And then another thing, dual XP progression that I'm kind of excited about for my career and my team. Dual XP. So if I understand that right, if I get to level 5 on my team, I am automatically level 5 the next time I load into my career?
Yes.
I understand that right.
You're getting, when you go to level 5 in my team, you get all the level 5 my team rewards up to 5, and then all the rewards up to my career level 5.
See, that is nice. That is nice. That is nice.
So,
it makes me want to play my career first, though, because of the player progression and the badges, and then just reap the benefits in my team.
There you go. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to approach it. I was thinking about you last week. Kind of weird, I know.
We didn't chat. We didn't chat.
For sure. I thought you might want to play both, go back and forth. So,
yeah.
You've been sweating in the park recently because you were 60 overall.
Yeah.
So, I know I had a reason to think about how you're going to flip flop.
Yep. Dual credits is what we call it.
There you go.
And then no limitless takeoff.
Or quick drops.
Yep, no quick drops. Because I know, and the meter dunks, man, I'm getting dunked all over the place with this endgame Steph. I don't know if you've seen this guy, this endgame Steph. But I am getting meter dunked to heck with this guy. So is that something with limitless takeoff? Does that have anything to do with that, or is that just because Steph's him?
No, I definitely could. I'll tell you this. So I put out a tweet last month. I said, if you could remove a badge, what would it be? And some park guys got a hold of it, and they said limitless takeoff. So the combination of the removal of limitless takeoff and quick drops, I think, is big. That means people have more varied dunk packages in my career, which I think is a good thing. And limitless takeoff, people were abusing it, that's for sure, in both modes. So what happens? We still got a lot more news to go, Tim. I mean, last week was just the tip of the iceberg. So.
Oh yeah, and here there's a Mamba stuff coming up possibly in a couple days.
Well, we'll have to see when it happens, but it's on the schedule for this week. I highly encourage, if you guys want me to tweet it out, I'll tweet it out. But if you don't have that, roadmap schedule saved to your phone, put it as your wallpaper. No, I'm just kidding. But make sure it's in your phone, because I see people asking all the time about when we're getting news for this and that. But this week, so today we got the W my NBA. Mamba Moment scheduled for sometime this week. Then next week is my career, the city, and my team. And then the final week is season 1 and more. So there you go.
And more. And the and more is what draws you in, right? The and more.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people circling that the day it came out. So let me know. I'm happy to tweet it, but people.
Oh yeah, tweeting's fun.
I mean, I'm listening to a lot of the same spaces that you are. So I just have heard a lot of dialogues over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and there's a lot of 2K chatter. I think it's great for same game / dead game. There's a lot of chat about in memoriam, I guess, for 2K24 already. Not for me, of course. I guess I'm easily swayed. Something comes out and I'm like, oh, this sounds like the best, and this comes out, oh, this sounds like the worst. Oh, and then I just wait and I buy the game and I play it, and then I decide for myself after I do it. But it's fun to go on the roller coaster of everything's the best and worst, though.
It's just been a lot from the last month or so. There's been a lot going on.
And park rep too. Is that enough to pull you back into the park streets, like tweeting? Wouldn't you like to tweet your park rep updates, rookie legends, top 10? Imagine you get into the top 10.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane. But no, I mean, it was a highly requested feature to bring back. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to, because I mean, obviously the park creators really wanted to see that back. So it'll be interesting to see. A lot of it for me is a wait and see, because like I said, there's a lot more news to come. So as you like to say, stay tuned.
That's right. There is a lot more news to come. But I guess we owe 2K23 a little goodbye before we totally bury it. There was one thing that came up today about your top 5 cards. Top 5 cards of 2K23 that we were going to think about. And I'm trying to find my other page here. But I guess first of all, Jimmy, how are you doing today?
I'm great. It was a productive day. I was running around, got some stuff done, touched grass. There is actually and I don't know if anybody else is going through this, but there's some excessive heat here in Indiana, and you feel it right when you step outside. It's almost a little bit tough to breathe. But there's just anybody out there, stay safe because it's like unreasonably warm.
See, it's the opposite way here. It's like you can already feel that fall is in the air.
Okay.
Terrible. But yeah, weather-related illness and sickness, and it's underreported. I'll say it.
Low-key some scary stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. And so how about a recent win for you? Recent win.
Ooh, that's a good question. I talked with both my parents today. I talked with my mom on the phone. I'll be seeing her tomorrow. That's a W.
Yeah.
And I know it always goes back, family is everything to me. So those are some W's in my book.
All right. Huge W's. And so back to the 2K23 stuff.
Yeah, I'm putting my top 5. I mean, I thought about it earlier, but I'm trying to gather all my thoughts now.
All right, I like that because I put a piece of paper down where I had mine written on, and I can't find it, so that's why I'm scrambling right now.
You're good.
And I can get the rest of our panel. I did invite a little different this time. I did invite a panel of people to speak. First time I've done that, just to kind of get more input as we go throughout 2K24. You can only listen to me so much, and I'd listen to you all night, Jimmy. But then we got the Waffle House in the morning.
You can only listen to me, Waffle, for so long, man. We got a crew in here, okay?
That's right.
So it's not you. You know how they say in a relationship, it's not you, it's me. Well, no, it's definitely me. I'm the problem.
No. So going back in the beginning of 2K23, maybe chronologically, how I have mine written out is chronologically, and then maybe a word or two about each card, if you got that in you.
I got one more in me.
And I'm going to look for my list. So the show is yours for Waffle Away.
Okay, so first and foremost was Trophy Case Derrick Rose, my favorite card of the year. I don't really know what else needs to be said. He's my favorite player. If we get a D-Rose early, which we have each year, I'm going to use him. Oh, man. Then we got to skip ahead because kind of a combo deal was Wesley Person, I think was the best low-tier card this year, or one of them at least. But he was influential and instrumental in getting Kevin Garnett the Opal. So those two guys kind of go hand in hand. I was able to get, around that time was Ben Simmons, because I got him from a 250K lock code. And then he became my limited point guard whenever I could run him. Like, if you ever saw me post who got the ring, it was Ben Simmons. I was a Ben Simmons merchant to a T. And then at the end, so those three were around the winter time. And then going more toward the end, I never used the Invincible Wemby or the end game, but the next Wemby did the job for me. And he was so much fun that I made some guys quit and limited the weekend he came out. And I did put together a little mixtape and threw it up on YouTube. It was fun. So those are my 5. There's plenty more. Those are the ones that come out to the top of my head first. And I'm looking at your list, Clyde.
He makes the list for sure. Good. Oh.
I was hoping so. I hope so.
And one I did have written down. Well, I got to stick to 5. My would be Shades of Benny. The Diamond awesome. Evo and the CPU cheese before they took that away. Before they didn't match up gem tier. You could Evo and get some easier matchups back then. Not anymore. But then of course Trophy Case Clyde Drexler Galaxy Opal. He was him. Badged up him, and yeah, you see all the people badging up cards to sell, but not me. Clyde was him.
That's your guy, man. That's your guy.
And then Opal, Cosmic James Harden. That's when I really started getting into co-op, and Ramsey can tell you about Harden, but that's when I was really getting into co-ops, and he was by far my favorite card. Seems like me and him just clicked. And then out of position KG was the next one. The first card, for some reason, I decided I was going to max out in badges. And he was a beast. He was a beast, too. And
I remember you had that man souped.
Yep. And then side note, I ended up with Hero Manu badged out, too, but he wasn't part. Then Invincible Wemby. And I figure I have to put him on the list because I spent 1.2 million MT on that card. So he better make every list I say about 2K23. Yeah. It was it was quite an investment.
A lot of shoes sold to make that happen.
A ton of shoes.
A lot of loonies.
Yeah, the Looney Evo. Yeah, and those are still working too. Just not for the same price. It's crazy how you find a good method and all it does is just gets less expensive.
That one, like, he deserves an honorable mention for you because it's like, how did you even think of that? Like that would have me stunned.
The Looney was weird because it's a lot of rebounds to get. That's for sure. It's a lot of rebounds to get.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm glad I sent this message.
But it's like, let me tell you. So every video I watch from you, it's like you got all your shoes and then you got loony bins. Get it? And then I'm just sitting there like people keep buying these loony cards off of tip, which is great. But I'm just sitting there like I don't know how you did that. So respect to that as well.
Yeah. And so that kind of, I guess that sums up your 2K23 card lot.
There's a lot more, but I'll stick to those 5.
Yeah, 5 was kind of it. Yeah, it could have got a little long-winded, especially on me. I crossed out 3 cards as I was making the list. I crossed out 3 of them, and because most of them are involved with making a bunch of MT off of them, and that's just kind of my little win.
I gotcha.
Well, what about Ramsey? Ramsey, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, Tim. What's up?
What's up, Ramsey?
What's up, Jimmy?
We're just putting a bow on 2K23 before we dive too deep into 2K24.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Some good stuff said.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game like a lot. And so first of all, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Anything that notable in the replies that I've missed? And I'm pulling them up on this because we're making this YouTube video, so I've been pulling replies up on the video. So if you've been chatting replies, you're probably going to end up on the video. Just to say that. I know Rich came through with the Grant Williams pick for Jimmy.
Big W.
Yeah, and Tyler was like, Jimmy got Butler's Most RZA Award. And Trash Can Rich, shout out Rich, he added Jimmy with the Grant Williams card.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And how about a recent win for you, Ramsey? Recent win. I know you've been teaching 2K how to play Madden. Is that what's going on?
Somewhat. People come over to a new side of a realm that they're not familiar with, and some of them do all right. Some of them can adapt. Some of them can't. That's evident. But yeah, a recent dub for me. Just this past Friday, I had some time off, and I got to go link up with Jimmy Crackcorn because he had a layover in the city, and I was like, why not? So we got to hang out a little bit. We didn't get to hang out like I would want to, but that's just because he was there for a short period. But it was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, for those not familiar with your game, describe your approach to 2K. Like favorite game mode, favorite when 2K24 pops off. Are you hopping right in? Or are you wait and see? What's your move?
So I'm not gonna play right away. I'm gonna see how everything goes and how everything is for people who are ready for day one. Just how I was for Madden. So it's going to be nice to see everybody who has it early, just to see how they like it so far, and the different mechanics, and then seeing when they first test out cross-gen play. So it'll be interesting to see, because we've seen cross-gen play for the first time in Madden, and it's done all right for the most part.
So
With server issues, so
wait and see.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'll wait and see.
And so for those, do you make content at all? Are you a content creator?
Yes, because I have content on the way. I'm going to be streaming, and then I'm going to be making uploading to TikTok clips of like some of the clips that I have from playing Madden obviously at first, and then when I eventually get 2K, some co-op clips.
Okay.
Because that'll be a big thing for me in 24.
I like that. And also on Twitter. Here on Twitter, you're a very good content creator here.
Yeah, I do my best with the Twitter thing, man. I try to retweet when I can.
Yeah, because this is a content creation platform with everybody tweeting about how Elon's paying everybody. This is a content creation platform just as much as TikTok or YouTube or all that stuff.
I got paid.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, buddy.
There you go. It's a content creation platform. So yeah, you're also a Twitter creator. And so if we go back, Ramsey, 2K23. There's been a lot of good cards. Mm-hmm. Chronologically, do you have 5 cards that stick out as 2K23 went along? And maybe say a few words in remembrance to them?
Yes. So my first card probably has to be Christmas, 'Tis the Season LeBron, because that card did a lot of things in co-op that I didn't think a card could do. That card was like his defensive player of the year where he got robbed in 2013 because they wanted to give it to Marc Gasol. That's how good that card was. So that's that card. The next card I'll have to go with, which is not a shocker to anybody, Big China. But because that card was special just for the mere fact that that card simply showed me how fast you could be hated,
banned,
and just all around flustered behind that card. That card came with a lot of baggage.
I liked him as a teammate. That's for sure, Ramsey.
I have to say that card was a great teammate. Yeah. So that was that card. And then I gotta. Even though most people didn't like the in-game releases, I loved him because he's my favorite player, Dwayne Wade. In-game D-Wade, I liked his card. I wasn't surprised that he didn't get a whole lot of cards, but I would have liked maybe an earlier card than the in-game. But I mean, he was up there. And then the last two, I would just say that I had fun, I guess, with. Surprisingly, that Kareem, the 95 overall Kareem, he was tough. He got some bare stops. He was good in co-op, and then for me, I didn't mind the Penny Hardaway cards. For me personally, I didn't mind any of the Penny Hardaway cards. Surprisingly, he good. I mean, I know his shot was a little off or whatever, but when I needed to stop, he was going to that rim and he was gonna snatch it before you got there or whatever. He was a dog on defense.
Oh yeah.
So.
Solid picks. Solid picks. So W for 2K23, you think?
Yes, it was definitely a W. Because of how we held it together for the most part that we did. It was definitely a W. It was
Good.
definitely a W.
All right. Well, we will see if Heck shares the same opinion on that. And then we have some 2K24 stuff to talk about, Ramsey. Thank you. Heck.
Let's go, Heck! Woohoo!
That's a pretty good intro right there, huh?
Yeah, that was interesting.
How you doing today?
I'm just lovely.
Good. Good. Diving into the content, all the new info, which is good.
Man, I mean, if anybody's been following me, you know I've been obsessing.
Yeah, you're going to be my news source for all things 2K24. All right.
But to be real, this is what I do every year. I'm a big fan of the culture, and like I just never shared it like that. You know what I mean? Like this is how I am every offseason. I love 2K culture, like the game and like just the community and just all the hoopla surrounding the release. It's a fun energy if you channel it properly.
You are the culture. Like it's you.
And so I always stay on. I've always stayed on top of things, and I just never, like I said, I never shared it. I never even thought like Twitter was like that kind of place. You know, I always thought it was like screaming into the void.
Oh yeah. Congrats on the blue check, by the way. Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, I did over $1 million over the last week, so I'm getting there.
See, look at you. Twitter sweat. See, I'm nothing compared to people that actually know what they're talking about. That's the thing that separates your tweets and mine. Heck, yours are actually informative. Mine are like, what's this guy saying?
I try to be helpful. I mean, that's actually what helps drive me. You know, I like helping and like just informing, just knowing stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've helped me this year with the shoes and everything. Oh, jeez. What a good time. How about a recent win for you? Recent win.
Well, I mean, I guess the 1 million. I think that was a good W since I've been really trying for it. So.
Oh yeah. And so for those not familiar with your game, how do you approach a 2K game? Maybe not 24 in particular, but a 2K game. What's your favorite mode or?
I normally dive into the builder first, like for the whole weekend, basically, and like that's one of my like big interests. Is like it's like treasure hunting. You know, like you're trying to find like the sweet spots in the builder, and it's just to me that's fun.
Oh yeah.
I try to learn the ins and outs of the builder, try to make like builds for everybody, and just try to learn it the best way I could. And I mean, I learned a lot, and I could be very helpful when it comes to builds. But the first weekend I normally just dive into that and I make a creative player and probably do the story. You know.
Do you make the player look like you?
Yeah, I do the face scan. I mean,
we've had some wild face scans. I've tried some, and it seems like it's always like on the other end. There's I'm not even going to reference the movie The Fly, but there's something that makes people change, and that's what it seemed like my face would do when I did the face scan.
I feel like the 23 face scan was horrible. The 22 was much better, but yeah, I don't know. I think before, when you used to do the face scan, it'll take like 3 minutes of you shaking your head left to right, thinking like looking crazy, like you're chasing a fly, right?
Yep, I was there.
Because you couldn't get all the spots, it took forever. And then I got these newfangled phones with the nicer cameras, and it happens in 2 seconds now. So I think it just I was hanging on to old phones for too long.
The 22 face scan, oh my gosh, that messed me up so bad. It looked like I got stung by bees, bro. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, this year is like my face is white and then my neck is black or something. It looks so crazy.
Yeah, that's
like Tom Sweat with the tattoos up my neck.
And that's a whole thing to make your face look like a certain thing. That's what I found out because my kid would make his do green or something, or he'd take a picture of, or the face scan of a baby doll, and so we'd
Yeah,
have a baby.
all the cool kids, they use the scanner and on a like a computer picture, and it makes their, they got like Chucky and like a Joker and some light skinned dude that looks like he was in Jodeci or something with a LeBron beard that everybody seems to like.
Nice, nice. So how about so are you mostly a park sweat? Is that what's going on? Have you just been dabbling in my team this whole time, or what's?
All right, my story, like in 22, I did level 40 in both multiple times. For most of the year, actually. I probably might have missed like 2 or 3 seasons.
I guess I should have put two and two together that you just didn't know about all the SIGs. You were actually using them in park. See, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, like in 23, I started playing with my career, and I really didn't like the experience I was having, and I felt like it was, it just felt like super greedy. Like I don't mean I just like feel like I wasn't being rewarded for my time or my energy. So I felt like the trophy case actually was a lot more rewarding, and so that's what made me just, I did my team pretty much mostly all year. I barely played any part after just being turned off by like the price and like the lack of payouts and stuff. I wasn't feeling like I was feeling like they were trying to force me to pay money, and I don't really like paying money on the game like that. So
Makes sense. Makes sense.
that's why I found out how to sell shoes. Right, like that's just.
Yeah,
I
once
always
you
find
crack the code, then you don't need money anymore, right?
I always try to find the market hacks so that
Oh, yeah.
I can play for free, and I'm a cheapskate when it comes to the game, honestly. Plus, to me, it's a challenge. You know, I find enjoying that challenge. Like, it's some people just want to play and they just want to face off, and me, I'm just, you know, just trying to I find my own fun there in markets and just finding ways to play for free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you were doing it in the show too, before 2K. What I noticed. Yeah. And so looking back on 2K23, the kind of the year in review through cards, you got 5 that kind of describes your journey through my team.
Yeah, we got number one has to be Donovan Mitchell. That diamond Donovan Mitchell was he was ahead of his time, and anybody that did the grind, which was people were saying that it was kind of a steep grind, but anybody that did that grind was rewarded, because that card was loaded for early game and one of the better early games cards I ever used. So I really enjoyed that Donovan Mitchell card. And then for season 2 it would be Kareem. That Kareem was a dog, like he was top dog for a while, like for 2 seasons. So that Kareem, that pink diamond Kareem, that was a good card.
Huge.
My third guy would be Pippen, that Opal Pippen. That got in the good boy packs.
That card was stellar, if I remember right. It was a stellar card.
Yeah, we got him in the good boy packs. So I mean, that card stayed in my lineup for forever because it was so good. That Pippen jumper was so good. Like, I think it was one of the more slept on jumpers for the year because they barely used it again. But that Pippen jumper so good. And then after that, I mean, this was a controversial pick, but it was Yao. That old Yao was very controversial, I understand, and he probably broke the game. But I pulled him, so like, anybody know if you pull the impossible card, like, it kind of like you have that attachment to it, you know. Like, you know, you pulled the impossible card, and then everybody hates it, but since you have the privilege to use the card, you understand the benefits.
I was jealous. It's a lot of hatred and jealousy when I saw you pull Yao. But hey, good on you. Now looking back, I can go, yeah, good job. Good job. But yeah, there was no way we were going to sell enough shoes to get a 2 million MT Yao.
Yeah, I got super lucky. And, I mean, I would never pay that much MT for a card anyway. Like, I would never. So that's the only way I would have got it if I pulled it from packs. And normally, I don't buy a lot of packs. You know, I just, this year I kind of, went crazy with it. Just, I don't know. I just found it. So I guess the FOMO of Twitter, right? Like, before I didn't really participate in it. And then, in 23, I participated a lot more in it. And it's like, it's one of those things, you're seeing people share their pulls, and you're like, dang, he pulled that? I need to pull that. And then I think everybody, it's like a chain reaction of everybody seeing other people pull the cards, so they try to pull the cards, and they spend a million MT just, and then, after they blow all their MT, they just sad at the end,
back to sniping shoe boosts and stuff, trying to flip badges.
I hate this game.
Yeah, an angry tweet. Pack odds suck.
Fix your pack odds.
Yeah, fix the game, Jimmy. Exactly. How many is that? Is that 3? Is that 3 for
my
you?
last
4?
one was the Wembayama card, just because that card is just insane. I mean, I understand it's controversial, like the 99 everything Giants, but that card is just so fun. Like, I wouldn't like to face them online, but just going around and spinning around on the computer and just dunking on their head and shooting threes in their face with that big of a dude is hilarious. Like,
yeah, it adds the NBA Jam aspect to my team, and it's.
He hop steps from the top of the key to 3-point. Like, he's just so crazy.
Yeah, some of the clips he's just kind of moonwalking and spinning around, and then it's something I can't master.
It brings me back to I don't know, back in the day when I used to play NBA Live on Genesis. I would just make the creative player all 99s and the tallest possible, and just be this fat Shaq dude just twirling around, running across the screen, mad fat, dunking on everybody. I used to do it all the time. I understand the appeal. When I was a kid, I was doing that all day, and I would drop 200 a game, and every season I win the MVP.
That's the essence of video games right there, huh?
Yeah, none of my teammates got to score.
That's awesome. So all in all, 2K23 treated you all right, you think?
Yeah, man. I'm not. I mean, it was a controversial game, right? A lot of people have bad memories, but me, I enjoyed just going through the 2K season. I don't know. I have a different outlook on things. I always find a way to have fun, and I feel like just hanging out and just chatting about everything and just going through the motions together is fun. Also, you know what I mean? Like I said, there's 2K the company, and then there's 2K the culture, right? And we might feel type way towards the company, but the culture is always there, and the company might have created the game, but the community created the culture,
Yep. Oh yeah, and a lot of enjoyment is what you make it. How create your own enjoyment, create your own content sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if you find yourself not enjoying one, like I said, like I did, I would find myself not enjoying the my career mode, and so I just pivoted and I went to my team, and it was at first it was awesome, but I mean we got a little bit rocky in the middle, But then if I wasn't enjoying myself that much, I would just do I'll do I'll play now or do my era or something, You just hop on another mode if you love hoops, right? I mean, I understand some people just have to play online, and I dig that, but part of me still enjoys that beating up on the computer stuff and dropping 100 on their head.
Yeah, exactly. Domination, pure domination once in a while, right?
Yeah. And it can be boring, targets a million times and beat their heads, and you know, it does get kind of kind of monotonous, but every now and then, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, so another thing that's came out of the community this year is I got to meet a guy named Stogie. We all got to kind of meet a guy named Stogie, I think. Stogie, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Tim. How's our connection, man?
Good. I can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Perfect.
And,
How you doing?
Fantastic. Tuesday space night. Get to talk with a bunch of friends. Talk about a video game. So yeah, I can't complain about that.
Who can?
So how about a recent win for you? Recent win lately.
Well, first daily W's, and family's good. Work's feeding us. I really don't ask for a lot more than that. But if I had to pick a recent win, it's a small win. But it's worth mentioning. I just finished a forearm sleeve last Tuesday. You know, that's a win for me because I only use one tattoo artist, and I had to wait 6 months between sessions.
Okay.
So to put that in T. Small's perspective, Radium D-Rob didn't exist last time I sat in that chair, so it was quite a wait.
Yeah, that is a wait.
Yeah, but I got it finished last week, so small W, but W nonetheless.
Oh, that's a huge W. That's a passion project right there. It's ongoing.
22 hours.
Jeez. Yeah, that's bravery too. I don't have any tattoos. Don't plan on it. Just maybe that's just
Nothing
me.
wrong with that. Teach their own, man.
That's right. And so for those not familiar with your game, how do you approach a 2K game? Like, do you have a favorite game mode, or what do you do when you dive into 2K?
So I have like a 3-prong approach when it comes to 2K. First and foremost, I'm an XP grinder. I don't stop at level 40. 2K23, I'm going to say I was around 5 million XP because, as you said, everyone needs receipts for proof, and I can't find seasons 1, 2, and 3 what I sent to Floki. I know I had 3.5 million from season 4 through season 9, and that's with an abbreviated season 9, and I took most of season 6 off. So I'm confident I was over 5, but I can't show season 1, 2, and 3. But I get as many XP points as I can, and then after that, I'm always chasing those limited rings first. I get that limited ring, and then I hop right into unlimited, and I go after that MT logo every season. So that's my approach. All my team.
And that's a pretty solid approach. And so, do you make content by any chance?
Yeah, primarily it's on X. I create short edited videos, with the hope of helping mid-level players or below understand simplistic ways to tackle XP, as well as ways to approach online play if things like dribbling or pick and pop, back cuts, etc. just aren't in your wheelhouse yet, if you're new to picking up the game. I'm just trying to share things that can make the game fun, whether you're winning or losing. I mean, we all want to win, but also if you're new to the game, you want to learn. So I'm trying to show some basic fundamentals and how to enjoy the game without a W.
Oh yeah. Which helps. You're a great resource of information, which helps me out. And so looking back on 2K23, if you were to pick out 5 cards that kind of stuck out to you.
Yep. I'm going to leave a couple that are evident out, but I will start with one that was more pivotal, if you will. It was practical. Gameplay at work too down the road, but was Pink Diamond Limitless Curry. I got him the first day. He was actually the first card I got. First pack, first card on the left, PD Limitless Curry. And my first thought was get the XP done and sell the card. And my son said, hold on, told me wait a little bit, wait till people built up some MT. So I waited a little bit, but I was able to kind of bankroll myself with that card. I ended up picking them up later, which was great, and used them for gameplay and helped a lot. But really, he was more instrumental in bankrolling my MT, and I was able to use that MT to invest in other cards in the auction house to really build up a good amount of MT to kind of get me prepared or set for the upcoming season. So I don't know what would have happened if I didn't pull that card, how the season would have, the year would have played out. But once I was able to get that card again, and then pair him with my next favorite player, so I had, a 3 chaser and then a slasher in trophy case Westbrook. I love that Westbrook. I would love to still use him today if I could. I mean, his speed, his acceleration, speed with ball, all 98s, even without a shoe that early in the year. Hall of Fame quick first step, clamp breaker, all the finishing badges you needed. And quietly, he had a lot of defensive badges. He had 10 already equipped, 8 of them were gold, and you could upgrade all of them. I don't think a lot of people thought about that with 6'3" Westbrook, but he could. He could get out there and he could play a little bit of D if you knew what you were doing. The next card I would say would be Dreamer Ricky Davis. I was a big fan of that card. I was way wrong about that card before it was released. I had made a comment about I feel bad for the person that pulls wrong Ricky when they talked about who they were releasing, because everybody was going to be wanting that KD. But Ricky played great. It was my first introduction to that Oscar upper this year on quick, and at the time I was still running Westbrook, so he's a perfect complement for a 6'3" slashing guard to be able to put somebody 6'7" next to him. I love that card. I ran him into the ground. I'd say then next, hands down, my favorite card of the year was Radiant T-Mac. 6'8" at the shooting guard position. He could be your primary ball handler. To me, he still has the best shot in the game, in my opinion. I mean, I run other shooting guards because of height and defense, but if I had to make a shot in front of the whole world, Radiant T-Mac, he's who I choose to put it down. Right. And then finally, it would now you had to get him at the right time, like before the Giants took over the game. But Hero Chet Holmgren, if you locked in for that card was great. 7'1" at small forward with a 7'6" wingspan. And just his length and movement, it made him pretty hard to stop off the dribble. He had that Willard behind the back. It seemed like he could go from elbow to elbow with one dribble move. Created all kinds of space. Add in the Curry slide. And he was one of the easiest threes for me to green. Frankly, he was unstoppable pre-1B. I loved using that card.
So solid picks. That's a pretty good year in a nutshell right there. So, all in all, 2K23 treat you pretty good then?
Yeah, I mean, here I am tonight in this space with all of you.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would have expected when I bought the game at the beginning of this year. I bought it to spend time with my son. We like to play games together. He plays on his Xbox. I play on my PlayStation. We still do that, but to be introduced to this community, the people in this space and others, wouldn't have expected it. So yeah, I mean, it became more of a more social interaction than it did just a video game. So yeah, it was a great year for me.
There we go. Yeah, I figure we were going to try to use this as an instruction booklet for since we don't get an instruction book with games anymore, we can try to spread our knowledge to anybody that's trying to make MT and such on my team. So I thank you for being here. Another person I have to thank for being here is Allie. Allison, how are you doing tonight?
Tim, I am doing great. Can you hear me, actually? I can't.
I can. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Because I can't see my little purple thing blinking, but I can see everyone else's. So, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm, at the old age I am, getting tired, but I'm super pumped to be here, and I just want to say thank you so much for the invite.
Absolutely. So how about a recent win? And it doesn't have to be 2K related. It just can be something recently that made you say, yeah, good job, Allie.
Of course. Okay, so, well, speaking of my age again, the ripe old age of 27, I am going back to school, actually. So, only part-time, so I can still make a little cash to fund my pack addictions. But, yeah, I got accepted to college, so going back.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a huge win.
Yeah.
That's a huge win. And it doesn't matter how old, all we do is age. That's what we do.
I know. I joke around and say I'm old, but I know that there's probably a lot of people in here who are
Yeah,
older
wise.
than I am.
We'll
so,
just say
yeah.
experience. A lot of experience around here, around these
A lot
parts.
of old heads. A lot of old heads.
And so, how about for those not familiar with your game, describe your approach to 2K. Do you have a favorite game mode, or what do you do? How do you break it down?
Oh boy. Well, I'm sure probably everyone is unfamiliar just because I haven't been on the, content creator side of things for quite a bit.
You were a streamer for a while, though. You were a streamer. Fun
Yes,
fact,
yes.
Allie was a streamer. And
we will talk about that, I'm sure, soon. But
yes, okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead. So your approach to 2K.
Oh yes. I am an all money spent offline player. At least this past year. So I do love limited and unlimited. I'm pretty impartial to like triple threat online. I hate clutch time online, but I do like playing online. I typically enjoy it. But I just did it this year. I don't know. It's just something about, I don't know if it was gameplay or like algorithm, but after like 2 games, I'd get pissed off and I just wouldn't want to play online anymore. And after that happened week after week, I just stopped playing online. But otherwise, the past couple of 2Ks, I've just been a parked player in the beginning, and then I kind of went to MyTeam as I started feeling like I was missing out. But I think this year I'm going to just go straight into MyTeam and focus on that right from the jump,
Okay. So all money spent ripping packs. That's an approach.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the illicit MT buying, but that was my original method, and then that kind of got a little slippery, so I decided to keep it kosher.
Mm-hmm. Smart, wise, because it turns out, they frown down upon that stuff and ban people,
Yep.
Yeah. And so back to the other question. Do you create content?
I did, and then I didn't, and now I do again. So I will, and I think what I'm going to do is try to corner the complete noob market. So, like, the people who literally don't know, like, what button to press to get to a certain thing, like, I'm going to be like, hey, guys, hot tip, you can press triangle to flip the card over, or whatever, like, I'm just going to completely I'm going to corner the market of people who just, like, don't know what they're doing. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like Spaceward Bird, I think he was the one who told Jimmy that if you're playing anyways, you might as well stream it.
Yes.
And I love that mindset. I think people who have thought about streaming but weren't sure about it, or like, were kind of apprehensive, I think they need to hear that, because if you're playing anyway and you're this involved in the community that you're literally listening to a Twitter space about it and you've always wanted to stream, then go and do it.
I love that. When? If not now, when? You're streaming it anyway. Might as well hop into it.
Exactly.
And so that's how I saw you. And you were playing quite a bit online back when I saw you streaming. So I know you talk about being an offline player, but you're pretty sweaty. You're a comp. Well, I don't know if you want to be. I don't know if you want to be shoehorned into comp.
I think my cards carry me a little bit, the ones I buy, but I do like to sweat a little, so.
There you go. And so content creation back. Nice. And so before we say goodbye to 23, let's say, describe your path through 23 in cards, in 5 cards that going to sum up your game.
Yeah, so I did a little differently, but it still ends up being chronological, so that worked. I did it by like gem tier. Starting with Amethyst. I didn't do like every gem tier. I just started with the Amethyst, but Season 1, Volume 2, Amethyst Pascal Siakam. He was such a bucket for me. I know that I might seem biased because the Raptors are my team and Siakam's my favorite player, whatever. But I just oh my God, he was on my team for so long. Even when I go online, I like to try. I know it's skill-based matchmaking, but I do like to try and take advantage of cheesing the overall if that sometimes still works. And he was just always on my team, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Dude's a bucket. All right. Now we go to Diamond. And my favorite Diamond card was Season 1 Shades of Paulo Banchero because he was carrying me in triple threat and clutch time offline through thick and thin until they made Evo cards play to their evolution level. That kind of sucked because I really liked taking advantage of the fact that they were considered their original gem level, but otherwise, he was also a bucket for me, and so Pink Diamond, I think I went with Fireworks David Robinson.
Nice. I couldn't pick between David Robinsons. I couldn't
I know
pick
you're a big
between them all.
Admiral guy.
I couldn't pick between them all, so I didn't pick him at all. I couldn't. So thank you.
That's all right. Yeah, no, he was my starting center for many a week and always held it down for me. Offline, of course. Online, I'm not sure. So let's go to the Galaxy Opal. This one was kind of tough for me. I think the Opals were my favorite tier to play with this year. Now, I'm going to say something a little controversial, Tim.
All right.
My favorite Opal was Billy Knight, and I know some people didn't get him, and they're mad about it. And to that I say, sucks to suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Skill issue, right?
It does suck, but you don't suck to suck. But he was just the best dude on the court every time for me. I could not green his jumper. It was just automatic. So that's my guy. I played with him for a long time. And then Dark Matter was Invincible Anthony Edwards. This one was also hard, but it's because I'm not really someone who's in tune with animations or tendencies. So to me, all Dark Matters fall into one of two categories: good or bad. And so Anthony Edwards was good to play with. His dunking agendas, they felt just so effortless. And in the end, I ended up selling all my end games and invincibles to get more MT so that I could do the XP. But I just had to get Ant-Man back. I was hooked.
Solid. I like the classification of Dark Matters. Good and bad.
Good or bad, eh?
Good or bad. That's good. That's a pretty good summary of the year then.
Yes.
All in all,
I still had fun.
Yeah, it's easy to have fun if that's what you're out to try to find in the game. Because I can have a terrible time on 2K if that's what I'm in the mood for, of complaining about the animations and stuff. Oh yeah, But if you can find your fun in the game, it's not that far to look, I guess.
Yeah.
One person that helps me find more fun in the game is Spontaneous J.
What's going on, Spontaneous Tim?
I'm more scripted. I'm more scripted than spontaneous.
Okay.
Shout out to anybody that can be spontaneous. We're just talking a little bit about 2K and wins, of course. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm just chilling, listening to you guys. My daughter is grinding my Zelda game for me right now and fighting a boss, so I don't have to sweat. But hope you're all having a good time, and it's just great to hear everyone, telling their story and summing up the year.
Yep. And how about a recent win for you?
I think a recent win is just kids are back in school and they're seeing their friends and taking the bus on their own, and they got a cell phone now, so a lot of a lot of new wins and a lot of news this summer compared to previous summers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And so, for those not familiar with your game, describe your approach to a 2K. Maybe your favorite game mode. Well, what do you first dive into?
I think generally, when I play a lot of video games, whether it's mobile, whether it's console, and there's some sort of currency involved, whether it's some sort of coins or I remember back in the day I played was it Heydays at the game that they're like you'd have to like collect diamonds and then build a farm and then go into other people's farms. But anytime I play a game, I'm always fascinated with the economy of the game. You know, how do you get the currency, whatever it is? What can it get you? Can you do it without paying real money? How much time do you have to spend if you're not paying real money? So generally 2K combines that card collecting and the basketball game and also the currency side of things. So it has a lot for me to rotate between. So I generally don't get bored of at the game. Usually I'm the one that has to tell myself to take a break. So.
Smart. And once in a while a break is good. If you had to pick one mode that you'd prefer to play, just curious, maybe into 2K24, what are you aiming for?
I am going to first look at what mode gets us the most advancement and rewards the fastest, and that's where I'll go, whether it's online or offline. I really like the shout out earlier. You all had the convo about grinding Park and letting that grind my team for you anyway when you have to work on your player. So that might actually be something I look at.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. How about, do you create content?
I do. I create generally content that doesn't take too long to edit and work on. So I like doing graphic art. There's actually a recently new X group community that's just like 2K card art people. So I really am enjoying jumping on there and getting to know a lot of the other very, very talented graphic artists that make card art for 24. So most of my content is on Twitter. I did get the Blue X today just because I'm trying to pilot a 1 to 2 month to see what does X actually do if I just do the same thing. And I do occasionally put some stuff on TikTok and I stream on Twitch. So you all encourage me to go all these other platforms, so I appreciate it, and I'll continue vibing in those areas.
Oh, there you go. That's the thing. You have to keep grinding, keep doing more, and we'll see how the whole Twitter thing comes out. But yeah, blue checks are great, right? That's a cred.
No idea. It happened today, so I have to keep rolling with what I do to see what it does.
Yeah. And so previous to today, we had a whole 2K23 game. How did your 2K23 unfold? If you had to tell the story in cards.
Yeah, so my 5 cards as I went through ended up being chronological, but the common theme I found with them is I like playing with wings. So I think why online gameplay wasn't as easy for me this year is I'm not used to paint smashing. I'm not used to running bigs. So my 5 players started off with Shades of Benedict Mather, and like everyone, loved that card in the beginning. Even as I think what happened is I got a holo of Benedict and I evoed him up to a diamond, but I still kept a holo Sapphire Benedict, Ruby Benedict, just because depending on limited, I wanted a Benedict of all gem tiers in my lineup. So I had 4 Benedicts at one point, all holo, Sapphire, Ruby, Amethyst, and Diamond. But the other 4 are then Scottie Pippen, a level of 40, season 1. That then went to Kobe Transcendent Pink Diamond. That then got upgraded to Opal Ricky Davis High Res, and then ultimately culminating in the Radiant T-Mac. So I think that's just kind of my style. So if you all want to play with a short wing, I'm your co-op guy next season.
Got him mastered. I like that. Yeah. So all in all, how did 2K23 treat you? W?
I would say, in my recent stream, I described 2K in 3 words, and I think those 3 words are still true for me. One is long. It was a long, year with the ups and downs, trophy case, community ups and downs. The second word is grateful, because I'm grateful to have met all of you and to be able to enjoy the game and the community with all of you and how you all welcome me into it. I appreciate it and I'm grateful. And the last one is I'm just glad we're done. It's been good. Let's close the chapter. Let's move on and let's celebrate it for what it is, but be hopeful for the next game.
Oh yeah, that's solid. And then there's still some stuff to talk about. We're excited about 2K24, but I do have two new speakers I'm excited to talk to. Wasn't sure about timing on tonight, so this is still kind of a work in progress. Thank you to the speakers that have already spoken, and we still are going to talk about 2K24. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk to Project Elevate. If you're there, how are you doing tonight, Project Elevate?
What's good, T-Smalls? Can you hear me all right?
I can. Thank you for hopping into the space. This is awesome.
Hey, man. It's been a while. I listen all the time, man. I usually don't get a chance to speak, but it's good to be here, man.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
How about a recent win for you?
Hey, some good wins, man. First, family is good. That's always the most important thing. Kids are back in school. They're doing great. Recent birthday for me and for my son, too, on the 11th and the 16th, respectively. And I'm back on the gym grind, man. So got a little routine going on, so hopefully that'll pay some dividends.
Okay. Yeah, always the gym grind. It's always a process. It's always a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint, no matter what you're doing in the gym. Yeah.
Yep.
The instant results just aren't there, like you see on TV.
You don't have the magic formula?
No.
You had all the answers, man.
Still working on that. So for those not familiar with your game, how would you describe it as far as your approach to 2K?
So oddly, I actually prefer playing online. I prefer like the 5-on-5 online aspect of the game the most. Although there's been times when I chill offline just to be able to interact with chat more often than not. But as you guys know, I love playing authentically, trying to recreate like the styles of some of my favorite players is kind of my thing. And I love dissecting the mechanics and diving into like all types of systems of the game, freelances, plays, all that good stuff.
Okay. Online sweat is all I heard. All right. So do you create content?
Sorry, I was gonna say it's always good to see if like more authentic styles can kind of like how they deal with like the more like the meta-ish styles and stuff. So that's always a fun challenge that I like to partake.
Okay.
And yeah, I do create content. A lot of you guys are familiar with the Twitch streams, the YouTube channel, stuff like that, etc. Kick, go follow on Kick. We're like 15 followers away on Kick.
There you go. Yeah. Follow Project Elevate on Kick. Why not? Even if you're not on Kick. See, I've followed some people on Kick, but I'm never on there. So I don't know if that's like an empty follow. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to be there every single stream on Kick.
I appreciate. Yeah. DM me. DM me how much you need me in your streams.
It's not the same, man. It's not the same without the T-Smalls vibes of that.
I appreciate that. But looking back on 2K23, if you had to kind of take us on your path, your journey through MyTeam, in 5 cards, how would that look?
All right, so we have to kick it off with Elton Brand. I think I'm in a trophy case card, the first one I went for, and he's just it's so rare that he gets a good card in my team that I had to go there. So he was really fun at the beginning of the game. Could play like to his strengths, So that was cool. The next one was probably Diamond Carmelo Anthony. He was just, man, that card was just like such a bucket. Took a little bit of time to get used to the shot, but just like creating with him was just amazing. That kind of carried through the Pink Diamond and the Nuggets Evo too a little bit. Then Pink Diamond Kareem was my first Pink Diamond pull of the year, so that was exciting. And just Laker legend. Going on to Kobe, which Kobe stayed in my lineup the entire year pretty much. By far the card with the most longevity ever in a MyTeam for me. He ended up with I think like 37 offs at the end, and he was still playing up until like June, until I finally got the Invincible begrudgingly. But then last probably that Zen Shack, who just played just like prime Shack. For his time was such a great card.
Yeah, great cards. Yes, Zen. Yeah, so the big man. That's the cards that you remember most of the game by.
A lot of them, yeah. Turns out to kind of be like that with Carmelo and Kobe just kind of holding it down through, on the perimeter.
That's solid. That's a pretty good path down 2K23. Another person I want to hear from though is Shibe. Shibe, my co-op sweat lately, co-op partner. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I haven't really done one of these in a while, so I thought I'd take the opportunity when I had it.
And I appreciate you speaking. I do. Speakers carry the space, so just like once in a while you got to carry me in co-op.
Yeah, sure.
So how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. School started back up for me, and got to talk to a couple of my friends today, which is pretty good. Catch up over what we did over the summer.
Nice.
And just other than that, just had a good time, just playing games here at home.
There you go. Yeah, that's
what I normally do.
Yeah, have fun, find fun. That's kind of the goal.
Yeah,
especially getting back to school and seeing your buddies and stuff that you haven't talked to in a while. That's the one good thing, the one exciting thing to be back for, right?
Yeah, of course. It always is.
Yep. And so how about for those not familiar with your game, how do you describe how you approach 2K?
I just play it just to have fun playing a game. I've a franchise that I've been enjoying since 2K18. I started playing that. I was one of the December noobs during that time. Got it during the Christmas Day sales.
There you go.
And one highlight from that is that I just opened my one random pack and I pulled that maxed out Pink Diamond Michael Jordan. Still don't know how that happened.
So you have a favorite game mode?
MyTeam. 100%.
What about in MyTeam? What's your?
In MyTeam?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it would have to be. It's either triple threat offline or co-op, because co-op is just so much fun to do, and it's so much fun to just play with people who I've met through this game, and just get a chance to just have a good time.
Show off what cards you got, right?
Yeah. I just have always enjoyed triple threat. I've enjoyed it ever since 2K20, and it's always just been something that's helped me get through the game every time.
Yeah.
It's always been a great way to grind MT, XP, get cards. Not this year though. I haven't gotten an RNG card ever this year.
Ooh.
Got like 100 of them last year. Yeah.
That's rough. That is rough. Yeah,
that is rough.
Probably the next game though.
I hope so. I gotta hope so.
So do you create content on this?
Recently, yes. 100% yes. I've only just recently started doing live streams on Twitch.
Okay.
I just play the game, occasionally just look down at the chat, talk to people. I mostly just stream co-op, especially when you're playing. It's always fun to stream that.
Any reason to stream? Any reason, yeah. Yep. That's cool. That's cool that you just started recently, and
yeah.
So if you had to talk about 2K23, just for using a few cards, 5 cards throughout the year, describing your path on 2K23, how did that look?
Well, I'd first like to start with an honorable mention, if that's okay.
All right, sounds honorable.
My honorable mention would be that Shades.
Oh, you might have muted yourself there.
Oh, my mistake.
No problem.
just accidentally tapped my phone screen. So
the first honorable
Kirilenko
mention was who again?
was the Diamond Shades of Andrei Kirilenko from Season 1. Was the first truly good card I ever pulled, and has always been a fond memory to think of, is that I pulled him while watching some of you may know him, Smoke's stream, Smokey RF. Well, I was watching one of his streams, and I pulled him. It was one of the highlights of the year for me.
There you go.
So that's why I thought I would include him here.
Nice.
But to truly start it off would have to be that grueling grind for Donovan Mitchell. That Donovan Mitchell card was the grind was crazy to do. I think it was get like 100 steals with a Jazz player was something you had to do. That card really made the game fun for a while, and then another card would have to also be that Benedict Mathurin, that Evo card, Benedict Mathurin.
Yep.
And not that long later, funny story with this one, it would be Pink Diamond Ricky Davis. Pulled him out of an unauctionable weekly wheel pack. At first I was disappointed I didn't get Kevin Durant, but then after a little while I realized that he was one of the best cards I'd ever used in my time playing 2K, and he was the first card I've ever put 400 games on. And he still holds a fond memory, and every Ricky Davis I try to get one. To then follow that one up would have to be this may sound like a weird one, but for me he was really good. Would have to be that out of position small forward Al Horford card from Season 5. Really like that card because he was 6'10", he could play small forward, shooting guard. He had a really solid 3-pointer, and was surprisingly fast for being Al Horford. And then not that long after, pretty long after that. What number am I on? I'm on.
I think that's
3 or 4.
If I have 4, because you talked about how slow Al Horford is in real life, which was really.
Yeah. And then to finish everything off would have to be Invincible Victor Wembanyama. Absolutely one of my favorite cards ever. He's definitely on my Mount Rushmore along with a few other cards. And he's always just been really fun to use. And I remember seeing him just like, I gotta get him. I'm not gonna be able to get the MT for him. I'm definitely not gonna do what some people did, and that was grind my career for like a day or two and then get the VC for that. I was definitely not going to be doing that, so I just spent the $50 and called it a day.
Yep, got the card. Yeah,
he's been one of my most trustworthy cards. It's always so crazy to see a 7'4", 7'5" player. At the 3,
and he moves too. He moves so good.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah. Like that. That's really it for my list there.
That's a pretty solid team. That's a pretty walk. And yeah, you're cooking lately with Wemby in co-op. So keep that up.
I try.
Keep that up. And yeah, like Space Ward's Bird told Jimmy, and Jimmy told me, if you're playing the game anyway, and you have the capacity and the urge to stream it, might as well stream it. So keep on it. Keep on it, Shibe. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And one other person I appreciate is Jazz. I haven't been able to talk to Jazz in months. Holy cow, Jazz. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent. We're just kind of wrapping up, putting a bow on 2K23, my team, and then going to talk about what we're excited for on 2K24. And we're also talking about recent wins. So if you had to think of a recent win for you, Jazz, what was the first thing that came to mind?
Can I hijack your space for 5 minutes?
Absolutely.
Cool. Listen, man, you've been here every week for God knows how many weeks. asking people a ton of questions. I have some experience in that area. Can I ask you some questions?
Oh boy, possibly, yeah. I'm game. I'm game. For my wife.
It's 2:30 in the morning. I've had like 2 hours sleep, and I've got 12 hours of travel ahead of me. But I'm going to jump in this space, and let's hear from Tim for once. How about that?
Oh boy,
on this space.
Sweating now. All right. Okay, go on.
All right. You've had an amazing year. You've had an amazing year. 2 years ago, you used to sit in our streams quietly modding.
Yep.
And now you're here every week talking to creators. YouTube's blowing up. It's all going on. What's your proudest achievement this year?
Whew. Proudest achievement. Oh, boy, see? This is why I ask the questions. I think... I think... The best thing that's happened this year, I'd have to say... Oh, it's all snowballed so fast. It had to start. If I wouldn't have hopped into Floki and Jimmy's space the end of last summer before 2K23 came out, I think I was planning on having, and I was having a blast hanging out in your guys' streams and everything. I could have done that again, but I told the joke and it got a laugh and I was hooked. And it was about 2K and. Before you know it, I was tweeting and in every space I could be in. Yeah. So I guess...
Well, you've got to tell us the joke. What was the joke?
They were talking about exhibitions. The big thing was exhibitions. So nobody knew exactly what was going on. And so me cleverly said, okay, so let's say hypothetically I send Wilt Chamberlain on an exhibition to Spain. In 9 months later, will I have a team of Chamberlains?
I didn't ready to troll you for how bad the joke was, but it was pretty good. It was good.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'll do that. If I say something, as long as it makes myself laugh, at the risk of embarrassment, I'll do it.
I mean, that's every time, surely. What was your favourite interview you did this year? And why was it me? No, what was it?
I guess the favorite interview I'd have to say was Most Ballin'. Because it was the first one that I didn't feel like I knew him at all. I've seen him just a little bit scratch the surface as a content creator. Well, the other ones with like you and Ludes and Jacob and stuff and Wildmont and Okodre, it felt like I've already had a little bit of a background with you guys. So it was... I was
super fun to talk to as well in those environments.
Yeah. I'd say that was the most stressful but the most fun.
What are you most looking forward to in 24?
Playing Park, building a player in Park, and that's only this week. This week or maybe the last 2 weeks recently. Because I'm always excited about my team and the card drops and everything. But I recently played Park for a couple hours, and I got back into thinking, okay, well I need to do this with this guy and this, and I'm going to buy him this shirt and. Yeah.
I guess the cross progression thing helps with that as well.
Yeah. Oh, that was kind of the kicker to say why not, because but 2 weeks ago I can't play Park, I'd miss out on my team, and now it's like, well, why not do both?
Do you want a tough question?
All right.
Let's see. This might be the most controversial your space has ever been. What do you think of the battle pass?
I think it was it happened everywhere else. It was only a matter of time before it infected sports games too. I think any company that sees another company get consistent payments every 6 weeks from their consumer base is going to jump on that bandwagon.
I agree with you. And what's the goal? Last one for me. What's the goal for 24? Logo smalls?
Logo is the goal. Logo is yep. That, because if I could send a picture of that to my kid, that's I've beat the game. And it's all, this whole thing is all about me being able to talk to my kids about the stuff I'm doing, about the game that they got me into and then bailed on me. So all this is their fault. They got me all hooked on the game. And it happened every year, too, that they'd get me into it, then they'd go play Madden for a month, and then they'd come right back into it. And all of a sudden, my player's a lot better than theirs, but they're still better at the game than me. So that was always odd. You know, their stick skills are a lot better, but my grind skills are more admirable. Yeah.
You know, it's funny with the logo. It's like, for some people, it's not a big deal anymore. For some people, it's still a big deal. I think for most people, it's still a big deal that they'd like to let on. I think the people that really want it should get it, and you should get it. You should absolutely get it next year. There's no reason. If you're listening to this, vouch for Tim next year. I don't think there's many people that are going to appreciate it as much as him. So let's make sure he gets it. You know what I mean? We can do that.
I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that at all. It's yeah.
I mean, I'll think about it. He's a pretty good guy. I'll think about it.
Oh, I'm done. That's all my questions.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate the questions. That was a weird turn of events, but hey, I was ready. Hopefully I did all right. No preparation.
There's always going to be a day where I interviewed you. You know what I mean? It's in the stars.
And even the first interview I did with you way back, you were my very first interview, and then you turned the end of it into an interview on me again. So that's just something you do. You're
I remember that. Yeah, that's the problem with our age. I don't remember much.
No, because I just had to listen to it because it was recorded. That's the only reason I remember it. Yeah. All these interviews, when I record them for YouTube, I'm like, oh, wow, he said that? Or, oh, I don't remember that. So, yeah, I listened to it for the first time recently, it seems like.
Nice. Bit of nostalgia.
Yeah. But, all right, so back to your questions. If you were to describe your game, how do you approach 2K? Like, you online, offline, a auction house? What do you like to get into on MyTeam?
I'll play online and I'll play for fun. That's it. It's not complicated with me. I've been through the days of grinding and sweating and 40-hour days and all of that stuff. Nah, I just play for fun. I jump on, play, jump off. I don't want to play anymore. I keep it simple. But yeah, it's usually online co-op.
That's the way.
Clutch time, unlimited if I'm feeling particularly masochistic, usual stuff.
That's right. Depending on the pain level you're willing to take.
Yeah.
So do you create content then?
I do. I have a podcast and I stream biannual streams. You know this.
Excellent. Yep.
Two a year on Twitch.
The Yao Ming pack openings. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to sound cliche, but I'm going to make more of an effort next year. I'm the only creator that's probably monetized on every platform that does nothing with it. You know what I mean? I should probably start doing something.
Yeah. That's an odd choice of goal, just to get monetized and then stop. It seems like that's just the step that people want to try to take. But
yeah, I think the hardest bit of it. I might as well make a video now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Might as well. You already have the channel. Yeah, that's good. So if you were looking back on 2K23, and you were going to describe it in 5 cards, how would that look for you?
5 cards. Diamond Donovan Mitchell, probably the first one. Great example of how a reward card should be in this game. Was easy to get, got him in a couple of days, used him for 2 months. Loved that card. Ricky Davis was the first card I had fun with. PD Ricky. What else? We know what the last one is. I'm trying to think of the other 2. Dr. J, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Super rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Love that card. And what else? Oh, Cosmic James Harden. Most underrated card of the year. Embarrassingly so.
Oh, yeah.
That was a ton of fun. And then T-Mac. He's number 5. I use that card exclusively for 6 months. Can't leave him off the list, really.
Oh, yeah. You'd use T-Mac, jump off for a second, and go right back to T-Mac.
Yeah. I was speaking with Frankie today and still using T-Mac.
Still using.
Like about February.
That's good. That's a pretty good, review of the game in cards, especially like you say, the longevity of that T-Mac. And
Yeah. I feel like the power creep ended with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you spending your time with us on that 2K23 thing, Jazz. I'm going to shift gears a little bit to the 2K24 talk. I know there's a lot we've heard a lot. We get fed a little bit. I guess I don't know if it's the best game ever or if it's the same game yet. Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, see, and you know, if you had to say one thing, and this will kind of go around the speakers, around the room, if you had to say one thing that you are most excited for about 2K24.
Yeah, it's crossplay. It's still crossplay. It's the first thing we found out. It's still the thing I care about the most. Me and you have never played 2K together. We've known each other, 4 years? We've never played 2K together. That's going to change in, a few weeks. Yeah. The way I play the game, the reasons that I play the game, the social aspect, we're both a bit older. We both remember the couch co-op days, how much fun it was. And I feel like with co-op, we recreated that this year. Like, we did a 2023 version of couch co-op back in the day. We just replaced the couch with Discord, and we were just hooping. It's got to be that. There's going to be nothing we do next year is going to be more fun than that.
No, yep, I agree. I agree with that. How about you, Ramsey? What are you most excited for about 2K24?
I'll say co-op. Just because now it's like we had Xbox, we had PlayStation. Now we can, like I said before, like seeing each other play Madden on the different systems or play with each other when you're on PS and one's on Xbox. It's gonna be nice to see.
Co-op
going into 24.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. How about you, Heck? Heck, you may have the most knowledge of what's coming up. Maybe besides Jazz, of course. In this space right now, of what's coming up. You have your finger on the pulse. What are you most looking forward to? And maybe one or two things from you, because I've been seeing your tweets. I'm familiar with your game, and you know what's going on.
Yeah, the My Player Builder is probably number one on things I'm excited to see. Then I would say just how my career and the My Player, just the mechanics of it, like all the signature moves and how pro play is going to be included in the gameplay. I'm really excited about all that. Like I like SIGs. I like learning about SIGs and seeing them in action. And then last but not least, I'll probably say I like to see what my team has in store in terms of hopefully more player-friendly grinds, and see what this salary cap mode is about, because if it's, it might be a game changer for people that are more casual. A salary cap kind of puts a limit on things, so it kind of evens the playing field.
Yeah, I almost forgot about the salary cap mode thing. That should be interesting. How about you, Allie? What are you most excited for in 2K24 from what you heard?
Probably pro play, honestly. I kind of like the Sim Nation type of stuff, so I like to be able to play a game that feels or operates or whatever more realistically, and I think just the more animations that are in the game, the fresher it will stay for longer, so long as those animations are, used equally and none of them are over or underused.
Yep, gotta find the balance. Jay, Hollow J, Logo J. Speaking of logos, what are you most excited for 2K24?
It's got to be Mamba Moments in 2 days, y'all. Very excited to see what that was like. I liked how Jordan's moments recreated some of his biggest moments in his career. We all lived through it at different times, and a lot of young players, they didn't have a chance to watch those games. And even if they watch it on YouTube, it's grainy, right? So having the Mamba moments, just really excited to see what the dev team came up with.
How about you, Shibe? If you're talking about 2K24, what are you most excited for?
So definitely how co-op will be a bit different this year around. But also, I think this might be the year that gets me back into my career. I really haven't played that since 2K21, so I think that this will finally be the year that I get back into that, and because of everything that I've heard so far about it.
I like that. I like that. Getting back into the my career streets. That's kind of the where I'm headed to as well. So I guess the biggest thing, what was on my notes was the season pass. So I know everybody has an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And since Jazz asked me about the season pass, I'm going to ask everybody else about the season pass. Starting with Stogie, what do you think about the season pass? Pay for levels, that kind of thing.
I'm kind of really interested to see I'm interested to see the rewards that come with it. And I was on another space talking about this, and I guess it depends like how you approach 2K is going to be how you're going to approach season pass. So if you're a no money spent player, I respect that a lot, and maybe season pass isn't the right thing for you if you weren't planning on buying VC during the season anyhow. But if you're going to buy VC during a season, even if it's in a small amount like 75K, you might as well just go ahead and get the Hall of Fame pass, because from what I read, you're going to get 15,000 VC right away. You're going to be able to earn another 45,000 VC throughout that reward process. So you're going to get 60,000 VC. So if you get for $20, if you could choose 75,000 VC or 60,000 VC plus 40 rewards, I'm taking the 60,000 and the rewards. Now, what those rewards are, I'm still waiting to see how this plays out. I'm having a hard time believing that they're going to put like a level 40 premium player as a reward. One is I just don't think that that's fair to a lot of the fan base to put a premium player behind a paywall. And two, I think 2K knows that might hurt their pack sales. If you're able to get a premium player for $20 basically, that separates you from others in the game. So really seeing what those rewards are is what I'm trying to is the news I'm waiting for. But then everybody's approach to it, and like I said, if you're going to spend money on VC, you might as well just go ahead and get that pass anyhow.
How about you, Jay? Spontaneous Jay, what do you think about the pass?
I think any time a game gives choices to people, it's fine. One of the things that I tweeted out this week is, we all generally, label, are we all money spent, no money spent, somewhere in between. Let's just play this year. Let's not try to count other people's pockets and how people want to spend. If they want to spend, great. If I match up with them, I'll quit. I have no problem with that. But in terms of the pass and the rewards, what I'm looking forward to is to see whether those rewards are auctionable or not, because I do think that this year a lot of the different player card things in the game became either much more unauctionable, or things like colorways, boost badges at points were really given out like free water. So I'm curious to see out of those 40, how much of those are really things that maybe players you can't get otherwise, or is it something that's really just auctionable that people can use to sell if they want, or use as an XP boost if they want. So I'm really just interested to get the nitty gritty on that level 40 on both sides.
How about you, Heck? What do you think about the season pass?
Oh man,
I know it's a big question.
2K23 it just felt like a squeeze, like they were trying to not make it a choice, and like I'm all for it if it does feel like a choice. You know what I mean? Like I would love to have that feeling, like in MLB The Show, right? You don't feel like you have to get stubs. Like you just get it for the convenience because you don't have the time or whatever. But you don't feel like you're pushed to buy it, you're forced to buy it. You know what I mean? And I don't like that feeling. So hopefully they can find a better medium. I don't know how to call it, but I just felt like the mode was not that rewarding for the time. And you get to a point where you just like you FOMO, or you just want us, and you just want to spend your coins. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't participate in a lot of that stuff, so I know it sounds weird, but I just see it, and it just hurts to see. You know what I mean? Like, I just see people participating, and it's just one of those things. It's psychological. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah. The FOMO can make you spend outside of your means very fast, Which
and I don't want to see anybody like that. And I just hope that there's a more consumer friendly approach. I understand they got to make their money. I mean, we all understand that. And like I said, they're like, you can do it in a way where it doesn't feel like you're being squeezed. And like in the My Player side, like you start as a 60 overall, you want to play online because that's what you want to play. But if you don't play through the story and get the VC through the story and then wait for a month, you basically have to pay to go out there. So it's like pay to participate, and it's like just have a little meet halfway or something where it doesn't feel that way, because there's just a lot of people that don't have it like that, you know what I mean? And
you kind of hope that, like Rocket League and Fortnite both have their season pass, that there's in-game currency inside of it. So if you buy the pass and then grind the game, you can pay for the next season pass, essentially.
Yeah, I do like that they have that rebate system in there, and I do respect that. I just, I do hope that they don't make it so that it's like you feel you have to get it to compete. That's all. That's all.
I hear
That's
that.
my big problem, is that, like, make some of the grindable stuff be able to compete with the premium stuff. Like, it don't have to be head and shoulders above it or something, but like, I don't know, it just seemed like there was definitely a scaling, especially like early in the season in the trophy case. It felt great because like the grindable cards were king, and it just was a lot better of a feeling than it was later on, when every grindable card was gone. Well, it was useless by the time you got it. And I understand that there's different levels of players, but I mean, you could see like the cards in packs is like the worst card in the pack is just as good as the card I just grinded for, and it's, that card is 1,000 MT. So like, what am I getting? You feel me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I just want to see a little bit of more of that, and hopefully we find a good medium. It just worries me because it's more monetization on top of monetization, and I don't feel like it's been a little one-sided. It feels like that's how I feel personally.
Yep. How about you, Jazz? What do you think about the season pass situation?
Oof. I'm not positive about it. Let's put it that way. I think it's dangerous. That's what I think. I think this year, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. But what worries me about these things is how quickly we normalize them, right? And this is where we will decide ultimately whether this becomes a problem or not. That's where this is going to go. Because the same way we normalized $100 for a game by just paying it, and the same way we normalized $100 for VC because we just pay it. If we get to a point where they do, let's say by season 4 they suddenly drop Gallic Turple Yao as the premium level 40, and if everyone in the community then goes and drops that $20, then we've normalized it. And that's when it becomes a problem, because then long term it's not going to be a premium luxury option anymore. It's going to be the standard if they know everyone's going to pay for it. So it really comes down to what they do, how they treat it, and if they do go down the road of gatekeeping, the necessary things, let's be honest, if half the community is running Yao and half isn't, that feels necessary. Then it really comes down to how we act. But what worries me is that we will normalise it, because we've done it with everything. And we'll end up in that place inevitably anyway. I just don't know if it will happen this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. See, when you asked me, I was like, everyone else does it. Yep, might as well. See, I've already normalized it. I'm part of the problem, right there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this isn't normal. This isn't comparable to Fortnite because, you know, you just gave a great example. You know, I'm playing F1 right now, and they've got podium pass. So that's actually the closest to what my team are trying to do because you pay for the game, same as 2K, and you pay for the podium pass, which is like their monthly pass, but they have the in-game currency that you can earn. So if you complete the season, you generate enough currency to get the next season. So this is unique. This is entirely unique. There isn't another model out there which is buy the game and then pay actual money every season rather than in-game earnable currency to kind of keep renewing it. And I don't know. It worries me. It worries me where that could go.
Oh yeah, yeah, good point. Because I didn't even think about that. Fortnite now Rocket League, cheap if not free games, and then you're buying a new game with the plans of buying 3 or 4 costs of new games throughout that game cycle.
Yep, like that's why it's getting the attention of the guys like Asmongold and like other guys that are big gamer guys, but they're not in the sports industry. They're seeing that this company is doing this. And they're afraid. They're afraid that all the other companies are going to follow suit, and then they're going to get riddled with microtransactions also. And I mean, it seems like that's the direction this game is going to go. That's why I got their attention. That's why they're screaming back because they don't want the industry to go that way. Because there is a slippery slope, and it just becomes it's dangerous when it becomes the normal. And then instead of playing a few games a year, you're playing one.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Because
That's spot on. Yeah, that's spot on.
Once the cat's out of the bag or once the toothpaste is out of the tube, there's no putting it back in. Once the floodgates are open, hey, this is how we can add another layer of monetization to this game, and the consumers will pay it. Yeah, then you're right. We
can pay for luxuries. We probably all do it every day. Everyone listening to this has probably paid for a luxury, whether it's an iPhone, a pair of Jordans, whatever. It's what we do. What we can't do is pay for accessibility. And that's the bit that worries me. Are we going to get to that point where the basics are getting kept behind a premium? And that premium's $500. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I saw too many people say, I didn't notice. And that's scary, bro. Like, think about it. I didn't notice when you spent a G? I mean, some people have it like that, but I know a lot of people don't. Most people I don't know.
Listen, I have it like that. I still don't want to spend 500 quid to play a game. I'm sorry, that's where I'm at. I'm comfortable in life. I don't want for anything. Like, I went the other day to spend $1,000 on clothes. Like, that's how I live my life. But I still don't want to. Yeah. I feel like I should have to spend $500 to play a video game.
Yeah, you
should. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at my transaction, and since my wife's listening, I'm not going to say what I spent. But let's just say it was a little more than the game. But we had it. We had the funds, all right? And everything's fine. Everything's fine. How about you, Ramsey? What do you think about the Battle Pass? You play other games that have Battle Pass situations. What do you think about 2K?
I'm going to sit back in the catbird seat on this one. I'm just going to watch
smart
people and their morals because I already know what it's going to lead to. It's exactly what everything Jazz said, we should get it printed out for everybody and send it to them on release day. Because exactly what Jazz said is exactly what's going to happen. Oh, I know. I'm familiar with a lot of people's game in this community, trust me. and listen, don't knock them because that's just how it is. You accept them for who they are. They don't try to hide it, whatever. But I know a lot of people.
Ramsey, some of us can pull like 10 Rick Smiths, you know what I mean? We got
right, exactly. Some people, so maybe my hope is, maybe a little more luck is given to everybody right away, so that way we feel less of what's going to end up happening, which is everybody's going to, because, it's like, they're going to do exactly what Jazz said. They're going to feel like I'm left behind if I don't have that certain card or the ability. So they're going to figure it out. So we'll see. We'll see how people, take it. The new options for what it's worth. Who knows? Maybe the first one is a nice battle pass, and then the next one sucks. So maybe 2K is like, well, maybe if the third one's good, then we'll draw them back in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay. How about you, Shibe? What do you think about the battle passes coming in? Does that affect your game too much, or?
So I'm not like a big budget person.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that with a previous game with a battle pass, that spending that sort of money was not like good at all. So I might do it like every once in a while when I think, oh hey, it might be worth it, like when it comes to longevity or when it comes to like overall value, then maybe I'll do it. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna ride it out like without doing that.
Nice, yeah.
At least the majority of the time.
Don't rush out to give them a bunch of your money. That's smart.
Yeah.
If we're already getting the game, we already gave them a little bit. What about you, Allie? What do you think about the battle pass?
It's interesting. I mean, I definitely agree with everything Jazz said. It's definitely a slippery slope because, like he said, I mean, we tend to normalize things, and I think honestly, like with the way that everything is becoming subscription based, it's kind of something that was bound to happen, but like we should have, I don't want to say expected something like this to happen, but with the way they really clamped down on like buying MT, it's like at the end of the day, 2K is a business, and we've always known it was like about the money and making money, but it was never more clear than in 23 that first and foremost 2K is a business and like operates as a business, and if they think that okay, if we add a subscription, like this is going to increase our bottom line because people are still going to buy VC. I mean, think about it. What you get with whatever the Hoff pass is, like that's not enough to even buy a 10-pack box, really. So people who are ripping are going to be ripping anyway. I think they're going to make so much more money this year, and like I just think that's it. Like it's like I don't think that this is going to fail. I think that this is the future of 2K, and it kind of sucks because like I mean I have the money, but like I don't want to spend it like I don't want to spend it on a game that becomes obsolete in a year. So it's kind of like it's fun, and I get that for some people it's like a hobby and they can justify spending the amount of money they do, but I like the point also about people who said they just didn't even notice they spent that much. It's like that's kind of nuts. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm gonna buy it because I don't really want to miss out. Except like maybe just the first month. I don't know about the whole time, but I want to see what it's like and see what the rewards are.
Yeah.
And yeah.
At least it's something new. Or I don't know if any new way to spend money is good, but I guess new game modes are trying new things here and there. But yeah, the dollar symbol attached to it is rough.
Yep.
And typically this is when I'd ask somebody to shut down the space. I know there were some people that requested to speak that didn't get a chance to speak. I know there are other spaces that go on for like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 hours. I'm not built like that. This show here, this space here isn't kind of geared toward that. It's still not in its final form. I appreciate everybody that spoke tonight. I know we could go on and on and on with the speakers that we have here, and plus the speakers that were still in line. But I guess we're going to go around the speakers right now and just say some closing. You can say 1 or 2 things in closing, and then I'll. And this might be awkward or it might be awesome. I don't know. We're about to find out. So we'll start with Ramsey. How about you?
So we finished 23. However you want to look at it, we finished it. We're down to closing days. 24 is still a new opportunity for everybody. Stay positive. Try to stay in it. Don't stress yourself out. Do what you can. Put yourself out there. Take the chances that you may have not taken in 23, and keep grinding and just try to make 24 yours in your own way and make it memorable in a way like Kobe Bryant would want you to.
Nice.
So,
how about you, Stogie? Any final remarks before we get out of here?
Yeah, just real quickly, I mean, just in this space tonight, you hear a lot of different opinions, a lot of different point of views, but one thing you don't hear in here is animosity. We all have found a way to respect one another, respect one another's opinions, and that does not seem to expand across the whole 2K community. There seems to be a lot of divide depending on what spaces you're in or who you're talking to about particular gameplay styles and whatnot. But I think a space like this shows that you can have different opinions about the same topic, and you can all do it in a manner where you keep your respect for one another, and it's nice to see, and it's why I've enjoyed your spaces this year. And I look forward to this space going forward into 2K24.
Appreciate you. How about you, Allie? Any closing remarks?
Yeah. Let's see. Just 2K24. I kind of like what I already forget. Was it Ramsey? Stay positive. Look on the bright side of things. In a world where people are negative, channel your inner DFS and look at the pass accuracy of a card, keep things positive and respect each other, and catch me on Twitch this year, baby.
Perfect. Shibe, how about you? Any closing remarks, Shibe?
Really just like to say that I'm gonna I think I will enjoy 2K24 for just being a video game entirely. I mean, there's so many negatives about this game coming up that so many people talk about. But yeah, like what Ramsey said, just look at the positives of it. And I'd also like to say that it was great meeting so many fantastic people over the course of 2K23. And I'll look over at this game with a lot of fondness because I've met so many fantastic people.
I agree.
That's really it.
I agree on that one. How about you, Jay? Spontaneous Jay, any closing remarks? And this will be called What We Learned eventually, but closing remarks we'll call it tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, everyone. So I usually use 2 words. In 2K23, I stay shiny. So for 24, I think I got to upgrade those 2 words. So the 2 words I'm going to share with you all for 24 is shine brighter. Peace.
I like that. Jazz, you gotta on the inside looking out at us, praying for more information. Where you have all the information. You got any closing remarks for us?
I want the inside of nothing. The only thing I'll say is it's important to remember whatever happens next year, everything's a choice. That's the one thing I want to leave everyone with this year. Everything's a choice. Whether you spend money, whether you don't spend money, whether you play the game, whether you don't. What modes you choose to play, what you don't, whether you choose to get involved in spaces, watch content, make content, whatever you do next year is a choice. Don't make anything feel like, don't do anything that you feel you have to do. And that's how you always get the best out of not only a game, but any experience. Also, keep an eye on my Twitter for the next 3 days. It's going to be fun.
Oh, see, he does know everything. I told you. Follow his Twitter. Follow Jazz on Twitter. Make sure, or X, or wherever we're at.
I'm going to post a picture in a few days that is going to be your favourite picture you've ever seen, Tim. I'm just letting you know.
I love it. And then we swing it over to Heck. You and me were in Space 1 that I did. I and now we're in the final space of 2K23. A different space back then. But I appreciate our friendship, what's happened. And so I let everybody else just talk about what they learned, but I'm going to ask you to close the space. Can you handle that?
Sure.
You just have to say stuff that's poetic and mind-blowing and everything, and that's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you follow everybody, all the speakers, all the listeners. Go down the line, follow everybody, because everybody's a W here. And just wanted to say, if you're afraid to take off your shot meter, don't be. Don't let DFS scare you. Take the shot meter off. Put the shot cue on when they release, and then watch the release from their hands. You can do it. Anybody can. It's a 20% bonus next year. Let's do it together. All right? Don't let anybody discourage you. All right? Peace.
Perfect, Heck. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next Tuesday, every Tuesday. If you want to speak, DM me. I don't know how this is going to look in the future, but this was fun. Thanks, everybody. Y'all are the best. Best community. And please comment, like, and subscribe.